भाई इतना सुकून मिला है।
Two things. Number one, I have a swipe post coming for you later today or maybe this evening. I still have to finish some of it, but it's a glute and core progression, so look out for that. Two, when I got this question, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that some people aren't here all the time. So when you're like in my shoes, I feel like I'm like a broken record and I say the same things all the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're gonna get so sick of this same thing. But then on your end, like new people are showing up, they're like unsure what I'm talking about if I'm not saying it all the time. So anyways, thanks for prompting that question and I will share that in the next video. So it's important to breathe as you're exercising. Once you start to learn a little bit more about your pelvic floor and core and how it relates to breathing, you start to notice habits of breath holding that are not helpful. There is the way the breath works with the pelvic floor is we breathe in, it lengthens, we exhale, it comes out. If we're holding our breath, we're bottling up pressure internally into the abdominal wall and on the pelvic floor, which is not helpful for keeping the pelvic floor strong, but as well as putting downward pressure on it for leaking, prolapse, abdominal wall, laxity for diastasis recti, like all of those things we want to avoid. And so if air that comes in, we also push that air out and we can modulate that with how much muscle we're using as we're doing exercise. So the sound or S sound helps activate the pelvic floor and the core on an exhale with the desired input or action of up and in. So for those who are new and who are learning, that is often a common tip that you can start with. Purposefully making that sound. If you do that, usually you can start to feel those muscles that maybe you haven't connected with, and then we kind of string a lot of those techniques together to start to amplify how much you can get that feedback into the brain and feel that happening. So that is something I've incorporated at a higher intensity level and compound movements to make sure that I am achieving that desired action. So after this, I'll share an older post on tips for connecting to the pelvic floor when you can't feel it. And I probably have a description in the caption about that sound as well because I included that as a tip. videotaped this overnight oat recipe I've been making because you guys asked me to share like simple food ideas, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do